Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute snowman using tin cans, and when you're done you can hang them up. Alright, let's get started. You're going to need these items. 3 cans. Mine are different sizes. They could all be the same size. 3 cans. Some string or yarn. A ruler. A hammer and a nail. Glue and scissors. A black and an orange marker. And some white paper. Alright, let's get started. The first thing we're going to need to do is to measure each of our cans with our ruler. Now my ruler has very faded numbers, so I'm going to use this paper ruler instead so you can see a little bit better. When we measure with a ruler, we put the edge of the ruler that has a 0, or the one, if there's no 0, the one with the 1 close by, and you line up the edge of the ruler with the edge of your object. So I'm seeing that this object is coming right up to that line. You see that? So that line stands, it's halfway between the 1 and the 2, and that is 1.5. So this can is 1.5 inches. I'm going to line up the bottom edge of my ruler with the bottom edge of my can. And this one comes right up to that line. Do you see the number next to that line? Yeah. Comes right up to the 2-inch line. So this can is 2 inches. Here comes the last one. This one's coming up to this line right here. It's just past the 3 line. 2 little lines past the 3. And that is 3 1/4 inch. It's not quite 4 inches. It's a little bit more than 3. 3 1/4 inch. Alright, now that I have measured, so now I'm going to use those measurements to cut strips of white paper that will fit right on my can. So if you remember, this little can was 1.5 inches. So I'm going to put my ruler on the edge of my paper. I'm going to find that line that was halfway between the 1 and the 2. Make a little mark there. Now I'm going to do that measurement twice. I'm going to do that measurement down here. And then I'm going to do 1.5 up here. Oops. So now I have these 2 dots. Do you see them? I have 1 dot here and 1 dot here. I'm going to put my ruler to connect those 2 dots, and then I'm going to draw a line. So there you have it. The next one I need to do is this one, and if you remember this one, it was 2 inches. So this time I'm going to start my ruler on the purple line I just drew, and I'm going to line it straight up there, the edge of my ruler, make a little dot where the 2 is. Then I'm going to move down the paper, line up the edge of my ruler with that line, make another little dot where the 2 is, because this can was 2 inches. Then I'm going to use my ruler and connect those 2 dots. Oops. Alright, one more can to go. If you remember this one, it was 3 1/4 inches for me. So I'm going to start at this line, the second purple line, And I'm going to go 2 lines past the 3, which is the 3 1/4 inches mark on this ruler. Line up the edge of my ruler with the line and make a little dot where that second line is after the 3. Then I'm going to connect these 2 dots. Alright, so I've got these 3 lines and I'm going to cut them. Alright, so I have my 3 strips. Now before I put my paper onto my cans, I'm going to want to put a hole in the middle of the bottom of each of these cans. And that's what I'm going to be using my hammer and my nail. Now you might want to get a grown-up to help you with this. You should get a grown-up to help you with this. And after we do it, there's going to be a sharp edge on the metal. So I really need you guys to be careful with that. So I'm going to take a nail and put it right in the center of my can. Then I'm going to take a hammer, tap it until it pokes right through that can. Give it a little wiggle and then pull the nail out. So now I have a hole. Be careful, that's sharp in there. Okay, be careful. Let's do the next can. I'm going to put the nail in the middle of the can. Get my hammer. Once it punctures it, I'm going to give it a wiggle, 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 wiggle. Pull it out. Now I have this hole. That's pretty sharp, so be careful. It's very sharp. Last can. Nail in the middle. I like how each can made a different sound. Pop. All right. Now you're done with your nail and your hammer, so go ahead and put that to the side. I'm going to start with the smallest can. So with the clean side facing out, I'm going to be wrapping this paper around. And I'm going to go a little bit extra. So I'm not going to stop right there. I'm going to give myself a little bit extra. I'm going to trim off the long part so you can see I have a little bit of extra paper. And now our next thing is we're going to put glue on the can. Now we're going to pick up our piece of white paper that we cut out. We're going to wrap it around our can. Now with my gluey finger, I'm going to rub it on this end. So when I fold this over, oops, I think I need a little bit more glue. I'm going to put a little extra there. Nice. And then I'm going to glue that down nicely. And we'll set that over to the side. Now, I accidentally cut my paper too thick. When I measured it, I didn't remember that I wanted my paper to stop underneath the lid. So my paper's a little bit too wide for the can, but it doesn't matter. It's okay. So I'm going to put that one to the side. Let's go ahead and do the same for each of the other cans. All right, well done. Now we have our 3 cans, which have been covered with white paper, and each of them has a hole in the top. So we're going to decorate them. Let's start with the bottom, the body of the snowman. The part that has the line of paper, we're going to put that in the back. And on the front, we're going to use our black marker. And we're going to draw 3 black dots for the 3 or 4 for the buttons. And down the middle, we're going to put a couple of buttons more. We're going to put this part where the paper overlaps in the back. And we'll put a couple of buttons, let's see. Alright, so I have, oops, 3 buttons down here and 2 buttons up here. Now we're going to do the head. Now for the head, we're going to do 2 smaller dots for the eyes. And we're going to do a line for the mouth. Now we're going to do something fun for the nose. Alright, we're going to take a little piece of our scrap paper that was left over from covering the snowman, and we're going to color it orange. Alright, now we're going to twist it till it makes a cone like this. Now if you have trouble with this, you can ask a grown-up to help you. Once I have it shaped like a thin cone like this, I'm going to get some tape . You want it pretty thin because my head is pretty small. This is going to be the carrot nose. So once I have it just about thin and nice, I'm going to use my tape I don't need that much tape to help it from uncoiling. So you want to make a cone like this out of your little piece of orange paper that you made. And then, since it's all crooked on this end, we're going to trim it. Oops. We're going to trim it down, probably try and make it even so when I glue it, it's going to sit nice and flat on the can. Alright, so about like this. Now we are going to glue that right on the can between the nose, the eyes, and the mouth, right here where a nose would go. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use my cans to keep this can from rolling. So I set it up like this so it can't roll away. This is my head can right here. The place where I want the nose to go, I'm going to put a dollop of glue. Alright, I put a pretty big drop of glue on there. Let me see if I can show you. Pretty big drop of glue on there. Now I'm going to put it this way so it doesn't roll back and forth. These cans are keeping it up. And I'm going to take my nose. Oops, hey, you're running away. I'm going to take my nose, make sure it's sitting nicely in the glue. Now we just need to be patient. We're going to have to go do something else and wait for this nose to dry. Okay, we've given it some time and the nose has glued on to the head. So now we're going to take our yarn or string and we are going to start with the largest or bottom can. So we're going to take our string and we're going to try and get it to go through the hole at the top of the can. And then we're going to reach in carefully not to cut our fingers on the sharp metal. We're going to pull out the string. Now on this string, I'm going to make a special kind of knot. So you might ask a grown-up to help you with this. It's a knot that has a loop at the end, because I want this knot to be a little bit wider so that when I pull the string like this, it doesn't slip through the hole. So all I did was make a little knot with a little loop, pull it nice and tight. You can ask a grown-up to help you with that. Now we're going to want about, let's say, what is that about? Let's go ahead and take about 14 inches of stringer yarn, and we can cut it there. Now we are going to get ready to put the medium one on. So I'm going to look at how high, I'm going to leave a little space between the cans, and how high on the string does my medium can go, like right about there. So I'm going to put my finger there so I know how high the top of the medium can goes, because that's where I'm going to want another knot. Now, this knot I'm going to do it about 4 times, so it's a little bit bigger. You can ask a grown-up to help if you like with this. Actually, I just did it 3 times. That seems big enough. So I have that big knot right there. Now I'm going to take my medium can. This would be a job for a grown-up, because we're going to go inside the can where it's very sharp metal. And I'm going to try and push the thread through the hole in the center. When a little bit of the thread starts poking out, you can pull it out. And now we have it. I'm going to turn, there we go. Now we have it so the bottom can is attached and the middle can is attached. So now we're going to bring our top can, and we're going to see if I leave a little space between cans, oops, how high to the top of this can. I want to know where that is on the string. Right about there. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my triple knot again. Alright, and now again you probably want it grown up because it's very sharp in there. When you see a little bit of the yarn coming out, you can pull it. So there he is, our little snowman. And you can hang him up and watch him spin around. Alright, have fun making your snowman made from recycled tin cans.